And now for your sports news, we're joined by NTD's Dave Martin. Dave, plenty going on right now, but let's start in college football as Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin has left for the same job at LSU. Did this surprise you?
Actually, not really. I mean, this was really a rumor the whole week that Kiffin was leaving for either the LSU job or the Florida job, and both are considered a little more prestigious than the Ole Miss job. It did surprise me a bit that he's leaving before the season's over because Ole Miss is likely heading to the playoffs with that 11-1 record. Of course, LSU really can't afford to wait until after the season's over to hire someone, and Ole Miss certainly needed an answer too. But Kiffin said his request to coach the team in the playoffs while taking the LSU job was denied, not surprisingly. I mean, before the transfer portal era a few years ago, that was still possible. I'm sure they feared Kiffin could possibly recruit some of his players, if not even coaches, with him to LSU. In fact, you got the feeling that this whole split was somewhat acrimonious. I mean, I don't know the details behind the scenes, but there was that video circulating on social media of Kiffin being escorted to the air to a plane by police as Ole Miss fans booed him farewell, if you want to say. In any case, Kiffin gets a 7-year deal with $12 million annually from LSU. Ole Miss, meanwhile, has already promoted defensive coordinator Pete Golding to head coach. He will take over immediately. So, eventful weekend there.
Well, it was an eventful and pivotal weekend in college football, the last games before conference championship weekend. What stood out to you?
I think the most pivotal outcome was Texas beating Texas A&M Friday night. Now, that didn't knock the Aggies out of the playoffs. It was their first loss of the season, but it did eventually knock them out of the SEC title game. Now, after Bama and Georgia won Saturday, those two will meet for the SEC title this Saturday, which seems to almost always happen of late. So one of those two. I think also Ohio State's win over Michigan was pretty big, even though they were favored to do so. I think the fact that Ryan Day's job status just a year ago by Buckeyes fans anyway was in doubt is pretty amazing. I mean, he's still only 2-4 against a big rival Michigan, but now he's got that national championship in his pocket. He's won 90% of his games there, nearly 90%, so Buckeyes definitely fortunate to have him. So Ohio State now plays Indiana Saturday for the Big Ten title. Those are the only two undefeated teams left in college football. And Big 12, meanwhile, it's going to be BYU versus Texas Tech. And the ACC will come down to Virginia versus surprising Duke at just 7-5.
All right, go Duke. Shifting gears to college basketball, though, Purdue remained number one in the latest AP poll released today, but Michigan made quite a jump.
Yeah, Michigan went from 7th to 3rd in this latest poll after one of the most really impressive weeks of early season basketball I've ever seen. Wolverines were part of that Players Era Festival tournament in Las Vegas last week. They really cleaned up. Now, they beat San Diego State in their opener by 40 points, then beat 21st ranked Auburn in the second round by 30. Then they absolutely demolished Gonzaga in the championship game by 40 points again. It was the worst loss of Mark Few's 26-year career there. So with Michigan now at number 3, Purdue at number 1, Michigan State at number 7, the Big Ten should be very competitive this season. Even Indiana is looking good at 7-0 right now. Now this week we should get some more answers though on where everybody stands, especially tomorrow night. That's when the ACC SEC Challenge starts. We've got 18th ranked Kentucky playing number 16 North Carolina. 4th ranked Duke hosts number 15 Florida, and Syracuse hosts number 13 Tennessee. Plus, outside of that, 21st ranked Kansas hosts number 5 UConn. So that's tomorrow night. All right, don't look for that tonight. That's tomorrow night. All right.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. Looking at NFL news, though, Indianapolis All-Pro defensive back Sauce Gardner left yesterday's game against Houston with a lower leg injury. Is there an update on his condition?
Yes, reportedly an MRI revealed a calf strain. Now that's according to a report by the NFL Network. He is considered then week to week. Now, that's not great news for the Colts, who are right now tied for first place in the AFC South with Jacksonville, but it's much better than what it was originally feared, which was an Achilles injury, the way it looked like. So Colts may have dodged a bullet there. Now, elsewhere in the league, Minnesota head coach Kevin O'Connell said starting quarterback J.J. McCarthy is symptom-free from the concussion that kept him out from Sunday's game. He is expected then to start this coming Sunday. In addition, the team waived veteran wide receiver Adam Thielen today at his request. Now, Thielen said this was his last season in the NFL. He wanted a bigger role in the offense on his way out. Now, elsewhere in the NFL tonight on Monday Night Football, the 10-0 New England Patriots host the 2-10 New York Giants. That is at 8:15 Eastern Time on ESPN. So make sure you get your fantasy football lineup set. Grace, you have someone tonight, right, Tiff?
It is set.
Very good.
Now that I've learned how to set it. Anyway, Dave, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.